Crypto. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. FUD. Bears. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Bears. FUD. Going up, bull run, bull going up, bull run, bull going up, bull run, bull going up to the moon.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today's Thursday. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. If we have a look at what's going on in the market, a lot of people think it's actually boring right now. It might be for Bitcoin, but it's definitely not for the altcoins. As you can see, there's a lot of green behind me right now. Let's dive in. Let's have a look. So we have a $112 billion market cap. Yes, we took a slight hit, not too much, but what you're noticing is that the Bitcoin dominance has pulled back from 53.7 to 53.4%. Usually when this happens, well, where does that go? Into the altcoins. And as we could tell today, the altcoins are certainly feeling the love. In fact, we have Quant Network finally entering the first page of CoinMarketCap with a 39% increase. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Quant. I have been for quite some time, and I think this is personally much deserved for Quant Network. Also, Icon as well. Basic Attention Token, we do have some news that came out from them. NEM looks like they're finally having a bit of a comeback as well. We have Ravencoin, Status, Veritasium, Aeon, Bitcoin SV, ELF. In fact, scrolling through here, you're at least having some mild gains on the front page, you know, due to the fact that Bitcoin dominance did pull back. Some other notable projects as well. LTO Network just came out. They're up 24%. They're another really good project. I really like what they're doing with their troll bridge, basically preventing these VCs from dumping on the exchanges, right? So that's a really cool thing as well. And finally, we have Upfiring up 36%. You may know them as sort of the BitTorrent competitors. You know, they're a little bit of a different structure, but we'll get into that. So the altcoins, we're feeling the love today. So even though Bitcoin is, quite boring right now, not too much going on, the altcoins seem to be doing a lot better today. I mean, give or take, you know, I'm sure some are down. But having a look at this, there's really not too much to say. I mean, the only thing I could really base this off of right now is the volume. Volume is picking up a little bit. Unfortunately, we're moving down, so this says to me we may push ourselves even lower, but at the same time, we could potentially break out. But I know, you don't want to listen to me talk about charts all day, but the one thing I do want to point out, though, granted, the volume is up like literally just in the past couple hours, overall trading volume has actually dropped dramatically on some of the major exchanges, as you can see right here, compared to October, November, December. January is hands down the lowest on Gemini, Coinbase, OKX, and Binance across the board, right? Now, this article says that Bitcoin is becoming more attractive to institutional investors. Its low volatility directly reflects its declining trading volumes, Dyer suggests, which are the guys that did the report. Traders flock in droves to exchanges to profit off constant price swings, but that's not the case when the market remains in limbo. I'm not really 100% sure about that statement, but that's what they're saying. Now, I know, charts, right? Well, I just want to talk about this really interesting thing that's been forming, right? We were talking about these fractals, and we were having these Bart Simpson patterns, but it seems like we're now on our sixth potential triangle, as you can see right here. What does this all mean? Probably nothing at all, but it is a interesting formation that some people are pointing out. So based on the previous price action, they're saying that Bitcoin should continue its downward momentum. However, as we are reaching the apex of the falling wedge, the price should technically attempt a strong upside breakout action. Will it? Well, only time will tell. Technically, a falling wedge pattern is a bullish indicator. It begins broadly at the top but squeezes as the asset moves lower while forming reaction highs and reactions lows that eventually converge. Upon closing in towards the cone's apex, the asset undergoes a resistance breakout to find a new support area, but they do say that conversely, an extended downside action could push Bitcoin back down to the $3,100 mark that we have seen before. But yeah, guys, I know. Who wants to talk about TA all day? I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, some people are excellent with TA. But I got so much news to talk about today, guys. I think you're just going to really enjoy this. I like when I get up and there's actually interesting things to talk about. So one more thing before we move on to the stories of the day. I do want to point out this guy, Nicolaus. Let's just see how we say this.
Panajert Siglau.
We're just going to call this guy Nicolaus. So speaking during an interview on CNBC's Future Now, Nicolaus said that the cryptocurrency market's recent struggles could set the stage for future institutional adoption, which many bulls predict will spur the next great Bitcoin bull run. Now, I just want to note that this guy was previously very negative about it. So this is like why they're bringing it up. He says the stability that we're seeing right now in the cryptocurrency market is setting the stage for more participation by institutional investors in the future. The cryptocurrency market was a new market. It went through a bubble phase and a burst. That's a much more positive take than he had previously, where he was basically saying that investors are totally spooked and, Wall Street was afraid to get in, right? Now, I want to talk about the leaked documents that came out, right? So you have this guy over here. Oh, well, it's not this guy. It's actually this guy, Drew Hinks, and he's the, adjunct professor at NYU Stern, and he says SEC Commissioner Jackson, in an interview to be published next week, is optimistic that a fund based on Bitcoin will eventually be approved. He expresses concerns about the proposed ETF submitted to date. You can actually check these out if you want directly off of Twitter, but they've somewhat summed it up right here. You could see. So he basically goes on to say, now this is Robert, he says, eventually, do I think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there in reference to an ETF? He says, I hope so, yes. And I think so. Getting the stamp of approval from the deepest and most liquid capital markets in the world, and it should be once we make it available to every mom and pop investors, we're taking risks that Americans, they don't want to get hurt, essentially. So, also we had these, rejections. We had the Winklevoss ETF that got rejected. Obviously, Hester Pierce was the one that went against it, and she said yes. But, basically the thing right here is that he basically said it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the ETF will be approved. So I know nobody cares about the ETF, but hey, I figured I'd just throw this in here. Now, this is what a lot of people they were talking about this, right? And I saw a bunch of people saying, oh, Bakkt is launching on March 12th. It's official. And I hadn't heard anything from any of the actual sources, but now there's this new website. It's called backedplatform.io. And a lot of people are saying, and I'm very concerned about this myself, that this could definitely be some kind of a scam site, or, why does it exist? We're not too sure. There's a few things that stick out right off the bat. Number one is being that the logo is different, okay? If you look at the actual official logo, it's a different font. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Maybe they're doing a, brand upgrade, right? Well, okay, I'm over on their official Twitter. The last post that they posted was January 25th, okay? And it just says that we're hiring. And that's it. There's no other news here. And this is their official website, Bakkt.com. That's on their Twitter. If you click it and you go here, there's no reference of a date. There's no reference of anything coming out over here. So I am under the impression, I could be wrong, but until they come out with an official statement, I do not trust this website. I do not believe that is officially coming out on March 12th. And there's a few other things too on this website that I just want to point out real quick before we move on. One is that there is a crap ton of spelling errors all over the place, which, come on, that should be a red flag. And also, if you go to the frequently asked questions, check this out, right? I highlighted this little area right here. So it says, how do I invest in the Bakkt platform? They say the minimum investment for the second round is $100 or the equivalent in cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. The maximum investment for the second round is $25 million or the equivalent in cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin. In the second round, payment of an investment of 27.5% for investments in BTC is assigned. So if you invest one Bitcoin, you'll look at the language. If you invested one Bitcoin, you will receive only 1.2 Bitcoin. Why would you word it that way? You know what I mean? Like, if you receive one Bitcoin, you will receive, an extra 0.2%, right? You would only, that's weird. Also, promising investor returns. Come on, guys. They know better than that. So that's a red flag. And then, in case somebody was curious, why do you accept investments in Bitcoin and not in fiat? We are at the stage of completing the testing of blockchain on our platform. Our tests have shown high results of efficiency and manufacturability using blockchain technology in contrast to fiat. The near future, we plan to create the first regulated exchange of the institutional class, yada, 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 yada. And then down here it says, how can I get my profits and investments? Within 3 days after the launch of the Bakkt platform, we will be, look at this, we will be sent your investment and profit to your return Bitcoin address wallet, which you filled in the second round of financing. So this just seems like complete, this is garbage. This is crap. I don't trust this. I don't believe it. I don't send any money, obviously, guys. I don't know what this is. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Thought it was important. Let's move on. Let's talk about some coin news, right? So a lot of coins are pumping today, right? So Basic Attention Token had a nice day, right? It was up. So this is basically the situation. It says earn the Basic Attention Token. Now this is from Coinbase. They say today we're launching a new Coinbase Earn opportunity with lessons about BAT, the Basic Attention Token, if you received an invite to the Coinbase Earn BAT opportunity by email, which of course I didn't because I live in New York, but that's for another day. You can go to the Earn BAT page to start completing the educational lessons and earn up to $10 worth of Basic Attention Token in the process. So it's not a lot of money, but it's free money. And if you guys want, check it out, sign up, get $10 worth of free Brave. Or if you guys want, you can also download the Brave browser. I know they start you off with $5, although you kind of like have to use that $5, but then you can earn on top of that. So if you haven't downloaded the Brave browser yet, it's really cool. I know people hate watching ads on these videos. I'm a verified creator, so if you want, you can use my link below and you'll get that little bonus, $5, whatever. But yeah, that's why Basic Attention Token's up today. Also, this was crazy news. So Binance CEO, CZ, he says that their exchange will definitely partner with Ripple to boost its XRP-powered payment solution, XRapid. So he says that the two companies haven't really begun to hammer out the details for the immediate future, but Binance remains focused on launching Binance Chain and its upcoming decentralized exchange, Binance DEX. He says, we're focused on launching more features right now, so we are working with a number of other partners. With XRapid, there's nothing going on right now, but in the future, we'll definitely want to add them as a partner. Now, it's worth noting that Ripple, they've already partnered with Bittrex, Bitso, Coins.ph, and Bitstamp to boost liquidity for XRapid as well. Now, granted, I haven't heard anything directly from Ripple or any of their, team, but Corey Johnson said its crypto exchange partners will be crucial for the global adoption of XRapid and will allow us to provide financial institutions with the comfort and assurance that their payments will move seamlessly between different countries. So I don't see why this wouldn't happen. I could easily see this partnership happening. So that's just something that I wanted to point out as well. Now, it would not be a day without something in the news about Vitalik. Now, I will be transparent and honest. This apparently did come out January 24th. I didn't catch this. I just saw this right now. But I do want to kind of point this out. He really, really took a major jab at some of these cryptos out there. And he talks about why consensus is not so much about speed. It's about security and trust and stuff. But I'm going to just play this right now. It's only like a minute or so. But this is what he had to say about it. He really, shots fired, again. So
I hope
let me put this up.
But is CBC Casper being designed with any transaction throughput goals in mind,
so
or is it just going to be what?
So I know there's a lot of misconceptions here because there's a lot of honestly bad crypto projects that try to claim, oh, because we use fancy BFT, we can do 5,000 transactions a second, and proof of work can only do 15. There's a lot of horrible misconceptions inside of that because the purpose of a consensus algorithm is not to make a blockchain fast. The purpose of a consensus algorithm is to keep a blockchain safe. So with the reason why things like proof of work can process relatively few transactions is because with the way proof of work works, it becomes unsafe if computers spend more than maybe 10% of the time at mining and verifying blocks. Whereas things like, for example, Bitcoin NG or things like the various forms of proof of stake could potentially be safe if you go higher than 10%. But the difference is still very small. So a lot of the time when a blockchain project claims we can do 3,500 TPS because we have a different algorithm, what we really mean is we are a centralized pile of trash that only works because we have 7 nodes running the entire thing. Now, the only way that you can get out of that, now there are legitimate, good ways of making a blockchain fast, and I would argue that the main good candidates are basically layer 1 scalability through sharding and layer 2 scalability through things like channels, plasma, and lightning networks, and ZK rollup. So, the main difference between, real difference between the properties that different kinds of consensus algorithms can provide to you, one is, not bandwidth but latency, so how quickly you can get finality.
Okay, so I think I probably played a little too much of this right now, but you could tell that reference was a clear jab at Neo. I mean, he pretty much... just a couple consensus nodes. So, yeah, listen, the thing is even if you're taking a jab at Neo or any of these other guys, every project isn't exactly trying to be the world's supercomputer. I'm not really sticking up for these other guys, but I am saying that there are trade-offs, and for example, a project like Neo has been very transparent about the centralization of the nodes and how they've been working towards the decentralization, but at the same time, there is that trade-off, You have the scalability or the speed, whatever, you have the security, and then you have the decentralization, and it's kind of like a triangle, and it's sort of just... It seems like when one gets stronger, you tend to kind of take away from the others, right? So that's basically what he's saying, but man, this guy, he just loves firing them shots. So let me know what you think about that. Also, here's the thing. He said that the main point of creating decentralized networks is to make them safe and free from government meddling, adding that some crypto networks that have high TPS are in fact centralized in that they use localized nodes controlled by entities, making them vulnerable to control, and that they can be shut down at any time. Now, that's a good point. You can go, if there's only a few of them and you know who's running it, you could easily shut the blockchain down, right? And that could be a problem. So he considered these to be centralized, but I just had to bring that to you guys today. Also, getting back to upfiring is, clearly having an upfiring in price today. And the reason is because they have officially gone live. So, this has been pretty anticipated. They have their DApp. A lot of people are saying that this is the competitor to BitTorrent. They are a little different in the incentives, but I'm just going to read to you what it is in case you don't know. So without any financial incentive, the existing torrenting system relies heavily on the goodwill of users to seed. By creating a monetary incentive for users to allow other peers to download their files, Upfiring looks to create a file-sharing ecosystem that fosters faster download speeds and greater file availability. So to decrypt a file and view its contents, downloaders must pay the required price in UFR tokens. Upon doing so, paying users immediately start earning the token. Free seeders, users that wish to earn UFR without paying for decryption, can also earn UFR simply by downloading the file. So users that have paid for the file decryption earn 3 times more than free seeders, since they then hold a copy of the decryption keys, making it faster and easier for others to decrypt the file. In the future, the original seeder, the first person to upload the file, will never earn less than 50% of the UFR price. So as you can see right here, there's a whole list of things coming up in the future. If you're interested and you want to know the difference, learn more about the difference between this and BitTorrent, here is your opportunity to dive in and learn a little more about that. Now, here's some other stuff, people are speculating. So the co-owner of Bitcoin Talk and Bitcoin.org says that Roger Ver will soon return to Bitcoin as Bitcoin Cash is quickly dying. Okay, so here's the original tweet right here. It says, "I'm convinced Roger Ver and many other Bcashers will return to being Bitcoiners again sometime in 2019. Let's welcome them back with open arms. At this point, even Roger is beginning to realize he's on the wrong side of history. Bcash is quickly dying." Now, this is one of those threads where, you got to kind of sit back and eat the popcorn, because there's just a lot of different, how about no? A lot of different people in here, all different sides. You got this guy right here. He's saying that Bitcoin SV is the original Bitcoin. Very controversial topic, but he points out to the fact that, as you can see right here, it goes on to the original Bitcoin. Here it is. Then it split when we had SegWit, right? But that was the big disagreement when we had the Bitcoin Cash debacle. So now this is the chain that we're currently using, okay? Now keep in mind, it's all how they, illustrated. Obviously, they took the BOA and they did it in the SegWit logo, so we're supposed to feel like it's not Satoshi's vision, right? And then you have the original Bitcoin Cash, then it forked into Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and here's the difference. So a lot of people have a lot of opinions on this. Today's not really the day that I personally want to chime in on this, but it was interesting that they were pointing this out about Roger Ver, going back. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is, realistically speaking, if we just go back here to the original, to the chart, you could see that the volume, even though you have coins like Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV relatively high on the charts, actually recently, look at that, Binance knocked Bitcoin SV out of the top 10. But, you know, look at the volumes right here. So you have 5.2 billion on Bitcoin, right? Now, let's look at what Bitcoin Cash is doing, 263 million. That's less than EOS, that's less than Litecoin. It's more than Tron and Stellar. Yeah, but it's still a lot lower than I mean, you know, Ethereum 2.4, obviously XRP is 412 million. So yeah, what I'm trying to say here is like Bitcoin SV 166 million, and you know, I mean, Bitcoin SV is almost doing the same amount of transactions as a volume as Tron. So yeah, I mean, that's just something to point out. You guys could take that with a grain of salt. I'm not like insinuating anything or anything of that nature. But yeah, that's basically what they're saying. He's saying that, you know, we'll welcome you back with open arms, okay? We also have the Litecoin Foundation and Beam potential cooperation. So this is cool. Now, this is from Beam's actual Medium, and it says that the Litecoin Foundation has approached Beam about possible cooperation to implement Mimblewimble via extension blocks on Litecoin. We know that Litecoin has been dabbling in, you know, the idea of privacy, right? So one of Beam's goals is to advance privacy in cryptocurrencies, in the cryptocurrency space and promote Mimblewimble protocol, which if you're not familiar with that, you can easily Google it. You know, it's based off of Harry Potter terminology. It's pretty cool. And we're glad to provide Litecoin Foundation with our help and expertise. We have started exploration towards adding privacy and fungibility to Litecoin by allowing on-chain conversion of regular LTC into a Mimblewimble variant of LTC and vice versa. Upon such conversion, it will be possible to transact with Mimblewimble LTC in complete confidentiality. So we have to see if this actually takes hold, if they do roll this out. But I wonder how it would affect Litecoin as far as like being listed on Coinbase. You know, because they're really weird about these privacy features. I mean, look what they had to do with the Zcash. They actually made them, they wouldn't accept, no, they would accept shielded transactions, but you had to send it out to a transparent wallet. In other words, they want to know where the money's going, right? So will this affect Litecoin potentially? It could. But we'll have to see if they even end up doing this. As of right now, this is just, you know, just talking, really. It's all it is. So also, mandatory wallet update. Okay, this is for anyone, you know, that if you guys follow blocknet, we have BlockDX version 1 and wallet version 3.12.1 have been released with many improvements. The wallet runs on the new blocknet and XBridge protocol version. As a result, it is mandatory for you to upgrade. That's why I am telling you this, because if you do not update, you will end up on a fork and you will not be able to stake or make withdrawals to exchanges. So this is pretty important. That's why I'm bringing it up, guys. Now, you have a bunch of things the latest wallet and block releases they say are very important. They represent a point at which they're ready to begin a large marketing outreach, including articles, grassroots initiatives, relaunch of coin announcements, collaboration with previously announced projects, and a lot moving forward. The wallet has considerable improvements as well to XBridge reliability, security, resilience, and it includes a new blocknet protocol version. So if you guys are interested, you can look at all this different stuff down here. It also has an in-app updater, so now you don't have to worry about, you know, the updates, so that's pretty cool. So mandatory update, just had to make a public service announcement on that. Now, if you're new to crypto, and actually if you're not new to crypto, this is a really cool little resource that was put out by the Block Crypto. You know, shout out to Mike from the Crypto Zombies Telegram group, you know, for, you know, showing me this. This is a great reference, and if you guys want, look, they have all these different things for Bitcoin, Bitcoin visuals, Bitcoin nodes, blockchain, coin dance, I mean, just tons of resources, guys. If you want to figure out, you know, hash and forks and blockchain explorers, they have them for Ethereum as well. And then some general, you know, like CoinMarketCap, for example, you know. All right, so there you go. Resources galore. Have fun going down these rabbit holes. So I will drop that below. As you guys know, all links are always in the description for everything for every video. So just letting you guys know that. Now, let's talk about our favorite conspiracy that's been going on. I put this one a little later in the video because we've kind of exhausted it, but I just cannot believe that more of this stuff is still coming out. So you have the Fortis Escorts, a private hospital in the Indian city of Jaipur, has released details about the death of Gerald Cotton, CEO of you know, Quadriga CX, the exchange we've been talking about all week. Now, so they said that Cotton was admitted to the hospital December 8th, and he died of cardiac arrest around 7:26 p.m. on December 9th. Oh, this sounds good so far. 2 separate documents released previously. A statement death issued by J.A. Snow Funeral Home and a death certificate issued by the government of Rajasthan's Directorate of Economics. Okay, some important person, okay? Anyway, at the time of the admission, Cotton was diagnosed to be suffering from septic shock and other serious issues related to his exasperated condition. So they said, despite the best efforts of our clinicians, damn, I can't talk today. I know I always mispronounce something, but long story short, they say the patient could not be revived and was declared dead approximately at 7:26 p.m. All standard medical procedures and guidelines were followed to treat the patient. The information of his death was communicated to the relevant authorities. Great, problem solved. Everything's great, right? Only that we have to backtrack just a little bit. Now, I want to tell you about somebody. Her name is Elizabeth Greenwood. Now, you may not know who she is. I didn't know who she was until I read about this. Well, apparently she was traveling in the Philippines back in 2013 when her car rental crashed into another vehicle in Manila, and apparently she died. Well, turns out later, she didn't die. She actually was curious to see if these places that could fake your death actually existed. So she paid to have her death essentially faked, and then later on came out and said, I was just kidding, and she wrote a book called Playing Dead, A Journey Through the World of Death Fraud. Well, here's where it ties into our situation. Greenwood's research found that people wanting to run away from debts or personal responsibilities have gone to lengths of faking their deaths. There's a whole industry ready with their death kits, as they call it, in which people can hire doctors, administrators, witnesses, basically anyone for about $100, and they're running these in Philippines and India, and this is a very profitable industry, apparently. So, Times of India, one of the leading newspapers in the country, revealed a gang in Mumbai was issuing all kinds of fake certificates, be it death, marriage, birth, anything. In another incident that mocked the Indian authorities, some miscreants issued death certificates of politicians using a government website. If you guys want, they actually put a video, how to get a fake doctor's note in India, if you're curious, okay? So Jaipur, the city in which Cotton died, is a small town compared to, metropolitan, like areas like New Delhi and Mumbai, but one can receive a death certificate only by submitting an application form. So, yeah. In the case of Cotton, his family must have submitted his passport documents instead of the card. Atop that, Indian medical industry is also facing allegations of corruption on various accounts. A forensic lab doctor in Goa, for instance, was running a private clinic that released fake birth and death documents. So this is just kind of adding more. I mean, they're saying it's released, but it was literally in the most suspicious of suspicious areas for this to happen, right? Not saying that he isn't actually dead, guys. We're just being objective here, just looking at the facts, okay? And you also have an example of Quadriga's bookkeeping. These are apparently bank drafts. According to this, they are now off the stove, which is pretty funny. This guy actually down here, he said, authorities say he may have cooked the books. Okay, I'll let myself out now. All right, guys, so let's move on. One more thing I just want to talk about. We always talk about phishing issues. It looks like now some cyber criminals are using Google Translate to hide the real domain of the phishing sites. So basically, the trick isn't actually that complex. What they do is, instead of linking directly to their phishing page's domain, they actually go through the phishing page URL through Google Translate and use that newly generated Google Translate URL instead. This Google Translate URL for the phishing page is then used inside the email instead of a direct link to the phishing site. That means that when users press any buttons or links inside the phishing emails, they're redirected to the Google Translate portal where the phishing page loads with the regular Google Translator toolbar at top. Now, this isn't very effective for desktop computers, as you'll obviously be able to tell. You can see this, you can mouse over it, right? But for people on cell phones, mobile, it's a lot harder to trace. So I don't really know what to offer you advice for this one. This is pretty clever. I guess just be extra careful. Just don't click on links that you don't know, and just always verify the sources that these are coming from. And definitely don't give any information and don't send any money to anyone that you're even remotely concerned about. I mean, going back to, this Bakkt website, looks official, right? I mean, you scroll down, it's got the team, it's got the investors, but yeah, it looks like it's probably not. So I would definitely ignore that. And final story of the day, Mt. Gox 2.0, guys. So a new movement dubbed Gox Rising is calling for a new accelerated rehabilitation plan for creditors of the now defunct Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox, with the long-term goal of rebooting the trading platform. The development was reported in an interview with its author, controversial industry figure Brock Pierce. Gox Rising claims that creditor recovery could be speedier if legal and technical barriers were to be overcome. According to TechCrunch, there are roughly $1.2 billion in assets currently held in the Mt. Gox bankruptcy trust, around $630 million in cash, and then they also have over 137,000 Bitcoin and 162,000 Bitcoin Cash, as well as any forks of those coins that they've acquired over time, which, as we know, there's a lot of forks. So, Pierce also revealed to the publication that the long-term aim is to reboot the platform as Gox or Mt. Gox Exchange to rehabilitate not only lost funds, but the brand name. The brand name? Why would you want to keep that name? Just me, guys. I don't know. Anyway, and the domain itself, the rebooted platform would reportedly be non-custodial to minimize security liabilities. Okay? Gox Rising pledges to compensate creditors in Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash and to ratchet up attempts to recover the still missing crypto. Its creator says that it is going to cash Mt. Gox's stakeholders' equity in favor of a new tokenized independent foundation, which would be governed by the creditors and work toward recovering and distributing outstanding Mt. Gox assets. The proposed plan would hinge on the creation of a Gox coin. Yay, more coins, guys. Which would grant creditors a stake in the newly created foundation, although the exact regulatory status of the token and rights, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like, it's kind of like Quadriga CX trying to, like, sell their exchange that has all that debt. I mean, even so, it's kind of had its reputation ruined, and the name alone is, yeah. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't know. Mt. Gox 2.0 could be, could not be. That's what's going on, guys. Let's get on. Let's move out of here. Before we go, friendly reminder that we are doing a Pivx swag bag giveaway at Blockchain Brief. Let me get out of the way. If you guys want, you can scan this right here, scan right above my head, or just go to the website and you will be entered to win the swag bag. Also, if you guys want to sign up for the Blockchain Brief, you can. But yeah, we have this going on anyway. Also, I don't want to really give it away right now because I'm not 100% sure, but next month's newsletter, we have a really big giveaway, like the biggest giveaway we've ever done. It's massive. You're definitely going to want to check that out, guys. Also, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure Ledger Nano X has gotten rid of their Genesis edition. That sucks. So sorry, guys, but, you know, to everyone that's been, you know, supporting the channel and using the affiliate link below, I do appreciate it. It definitely helps support the channel, and you are keeping your crypto safe, guys. So that being said, you are awesome. Thank you for all of your support. Seriously, you guys are the reason that I literally do this every single day. I love reading your comments. I love when you guys hop in the Crypto Zombies Telegram, which, by the way, you could click, you guys see right here, that's like my only link on my YouTube. It's obviously free if you guys want to join. But yeah, that's it for me today, guys. It's Thursday. We're that much closer to the weekend. A lot of altcoins are up today. Bitcoin, let's check Bitcoin. How's Bitcoin doing? Right? Pretty boring. So that being said, guys, thank you so much again for everyone that's been liking, subscribing, commenting. Also, turning on that bell notification, guys, if you want to get those updates right away. And that's it for me today, guys. So my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto and peace out.